Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Charm City Heavyweights Podcast, brought to you by the great folks at Grade 8 Sports and Memorabilia in Parkville, Maryland. I'm the host, Matt Trigger. With me, as always, is my co-host, Josh Merrill. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, Matt? Coming live from the man cave. I'm happy Maryland got the win.
Yes, sir. And this is our Terps talk for the week. We are waiting on a guest. Hopefully, Sean Mosley comes through. There's been a little bit of a scheduling conflict. Hopefully, he can join the show. Nonetheless, today at 12:15 p.m., the Maryland Terps took on the West Virginia Mountaineers, and that was a hard fought basketball game, man. That was a
hell of a game.
That was pretty close, man. That was close the entire game. I don't feel like anybody really pulled away too much during the course of the game today.
No, yeah, Kevin. But the biggest thing that the reason Maryland won is because Willard decided to adjust. He took it to an inside, get to the basket hard game, and it worked. It paid off. The Terps started pulling away, and then they started creeping back in. Another big difference was Julian Reese, man. Dude had 17 points. He had 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and he made his free throws. His shot looked different. He has the goofiest foul shots, man.
Oh,
he shoots like a line drive.
It's all wrist too. It's weird,
It's
man.
weird, man. But today it was different. Today it had air under it, and they were dropping. So,
they were dropping, but he just like flicked his wrist. He didn't even like put his elbow and like
exactly. They're weird.
It looked very awkward, but he got it done, man. I was happy to see that he had done, a fantastic job of just cleaning up the fouls. I know he got into foul trouble in the first half.
That's his MO, man.
Yeah, this is his MO, but he had foul trouble in the first half. I think he had 2. So Willard was kind of rotating him in and out with Hart. And Hart, man,
Hart's a good player.
He was looking good. He's driving the lane. He's going up for rebounds. The dude's playing physical in the paint, and that's what
when Scott and Reese are all in the zone and playing well, man, they're hard to beat. And it was a shame Jameer Young. I know he hit his free throws at the end to kind of seal the game, but he didn't have a good game at all, man. He hasn't played well the last few games. He only had 10 points. Didn't seem to play with a lot of confidence. He only had he had any threes. He didn't have a good game, but I expect him to bounce back. He's been solid the last month. You can't get mad at him. Dude, no. For a while, there were times when Reese was in foul trouble. Scott is very hot and cold, and Hart is also very hot and cold. There was times where Jameer Young carried this team and got wins.
Jameer Young had a decent showing today. Had a pretty good game, except for the foul trouble he got in. Martinez played a hell of a ball game again. He's one of the more underrated players on Maryland when you talk about,
he's a good defender, man. He doesn't score a lot. He's a good defender.
No. I'm saying he had a good game. I saw him playing defense, and the dude is aggressive, and he's what makes that.
That's what he does.
The full court press into the 3-2 zone or the 2-3 zone, whatever they've run. And I'm not really keen on basketball topics like that. I mean, terminology. But he makes that full court press work.
He does.
It's not a super aggressive. It's not even. He's just glue on them from about the, the basket to to mid court, and then
he's gritty on defense, man. That's every basketball team has that guy that can't make a lot, like Dennis Rodman with the famous Bulls. That guy that can defend. Martinez didn't have any points. He usually doesn't score too much. But he's a hell of a defender. And when they're clicking with that full court press they do that starts to wear on teams sometimes, man.
It does. I expected it to wear them down, but like you told me earlier in the week, and you said it on the show the other night, that Maryland and West Virginia mirror each other. So you knew this.
Yeah, they're exact. They're just alike, man. They're very similar. Both had really good seasons, more, season went a lot better than most people predicted it would. They're Maryland had a few more wins than them, but they're almost the same in every single category. They're built exactly the same, and they play a lot like us as well.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to get this win, man. It especially started off rough. Didn't look like things were going to go our way. It was ugly, but Maryland kept withstanding their little runs, man. Late in the fourth quarter, West Virginia got hot, started getting ahead of us. I'm like, fuck, they're pulling away, and Maryland withstood it again, came back and got the win, man. Willard, man, for that dude deserves to be coach of the year. This team had zero expectations. No coach in Maryland history's ever gone to the tournament. Now he's gone to the tournament and won a game, and he won a Big Ten tournament game. And he only has two guys on this team that he selected. This is still Mark Turgeon's basketball team, and he has completely turned them around, changed everything. He adjusts, man. He's a hell of a fucking coach, man.
he
Hell of a
definitely
coach.
is. He definitely is, and it's
Maryland
very.
basketball has a bright future with Kevin Willard at the helm.
And I believe that once he gets his guys in here and he starts
Oh
recruiting,
yeah. Oh,
his
he's
people.
recruiting hard, man. They said he's
Yeah,
at a lot of local Baltimore basketball games. He's going to the rec centers, and Mark
you got
Turgeon
to.
did not recruit in Baltimore, which I think is a idiotic. He's just an idiot.
It's a travesty. It's like
Yeah, because there's so much
DJ
talent in
Durkin.
Baltimore, man. So much basketball talent.
Durkin didn't recruit Baltimore for the
Yeah.
Maryland Terps football program.
No, he went to
Loxley
Florida.
Loxley is at least going into his backyard now because Maryland's a hotbed for
Ohio State.
Maryland's a hotbed for football and basketball,
Yeah.
and you got Ohio State and Penn State and Virginia Tech coming into the state and just wiping us clean.
Yeah.
In both sports. Now you got two coaches that can really recruit the state well, and that's what we need. We need that, and I'm hoping that, and
I don't believe Loxley's the guy, but I do like him. But I just want to say
I
for the
think
record,
Loxley.
I don't know if he's long-term solution.
Nobody's long term in college. When the NFL comes calling eventually, nobody's long term in college. That's just my personal opinion. Or a bigger program. If Saban retires, they could go grab Loxley and make him the head coach of Alabama, and I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Willard, like you said, he's in the city. A lot of people see him at they saw him at the MIA tournament. They saw him at the BCL. They saw him at the state playoffs. He made his rounds everywhere, man. He got around, and I hope he's paying attention to St. Francis Academy and Mount St. Joe in particular. And I know I'm a homer because I'm a Mount St. Joe grad.
It's where Reese went, St. Francis.
Right. Mosley went to St. Francis, even though he's
I
not
know
with
that's
us right
why
this
I
second.
was curious to talk to him because I'm sure he knows him.
Absolutely. But the thing is, you got to look at it that hopefully Willard is recruiting the Maryland basketball player of the year.
Sure he is. And then look, man, Maryland has a number 12 recruiting class next year. Don't forget now. When's the last time you heard that? Well, that was a stupid comment because Turgeon could recruit. He always had big recruiting classes. He just couldn't coach them once they got here.
He couldn't keep them.
He couldn't keep them. No, because he was a dick. I guess. I mean, I don't know. These kids are different. This is his team, like I said, and Maryland was terrible last year. They were terrible. Last year was a hard season, man. It was one of the hardest Terp seasons I can remember in my lifetime.
It definitely was a hard season.
Sad to watch. And then people making comments like, well, I mean, Maryland's not really a basketball school anymore. Like, that shit killed me, man. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Maryland's not a basketball school no more.
Well, a lot of Maryland's issues
were Mark Turgeon.
Yeah, and it's sad that Willard is winning with Turgeon's team, and he's shown in just under one whole season that that's the issue. Now we're going into the second round of the tournament, the round of 32. And we got a very tough game on Saturday. This is not going to be easy. Alabama has been steamrolling a lot of people this year. And I was talking to our buddy Dino that joined the show last week. Shout out to Dino. He's texting me. I think he's at work right now. He said that it's going to be a tough game on Saturday and that Reese has got to stay.
Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We had to be in their damn bracket. Like, man,
That's just the luck of the draw. I would have preferred to lose one or two more games, and we could have got like a 10 seed somewhere else.
yeah. Because it's look, Maryland. I'm not saying Maryland doesn't have a chance because I believe they do have a chance. But here's what's going to have to happen. Reese's not going to be able to get in foul trouble, and they're going to have to play the best game they played all year, and they're going to have some luck go their way. And Alabama's going to have to be, I don't want to say flat, but they're going to have to be a little bit off their game. You know, because if Maryland's on their game and Alabama's on their game, we're probably going to lose. They're fucking talented as shit, man.
Oh, for sure.
Which is crazy because we used to beat up on Alabama, you know, and now they're a damn college base. Anybody that doesn't like college and watches the NBA, like, you're a fucking moron. Like, college is exciting, man. It's like the NFL. The crowds are into it. It's loud. There's primetime games, man. When do you see really crowds into it at NBA games? Not till late in the playoffs. You know, college is like that all year. You know?
I like the lower scoring defensive games. Like today was
Yeah,
the lowest
man.
scoring game, scoring in the 60s. Some NBA games score in the 60s in the first quarter and a half because nobody's playing defense at all.
Yep.
It's incredible to watch, man.
NBA's a travesty. It's terrible. I can't even watch it anymore. And I used to be a huge fan of the NBA.
I mean,
I used to watch it all. I
I'm
don't
not
watch
worried
it at
about
all.
I mean, I like watching. I'm going to give you 100% of the credit. You have got me into the Maryland Terps full force again this year. I was a little hesitant, and then you got me watching one of the. What game did you have me watch?
I know the first one I got you watched, they lost.
Yeah,
I was mad because you were like, "Oh, you got me to watch these guys."
right.
I was like, "You son of a bitch!" Because at that point they had won like 8 in a row.
But you got me watching them during the Big Ten tournament. I know we lost to Indiana, but you always got me into it, and now I'm fully invested. I can't wait till they play again on Saturday, and I'm hoping
They
we
haven't
have a
announced
good.
the time yet.
I know. I hate that they just announced the day and not the time. Like
I
I
imagine it's going to be the late game. I would imagine.
I don't know. I mean, because we are playing Alabama, so it might be the prime time game.
That's what I'm
But
saying. The late game.
right, so like I just want to be able to plan my daily activities on Saturday, man. Like with my grocery shopping and stuff. I just want to be able to sit down and watch them play.
Yeah, they're fun to watch, man.
And
Terps are back.
and you know what? I don't want to be the Debbie Downer at all. But if the road ends on Saturday, I consider this season a success.
Oh yeah, it was a success. It would have been a success if they lost today. Just the fact that he got this team in the dance is a success.
But he got the team in the dance and he got to win. We're not watching the NIT.
That's what I'm saying. I know. That's what I'm saying.
NIT on some bullshit
I'm
channel.
saying it was a success just getting there. Winning 20 wins on the regular season was a lot of people thought this was a 14-win team.
I agree with you, man. I do agree with you 100%. That's not the issue. But what I'm saying is they are playing primetime basketball against the best of the best, and we're there. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like that to me.
Can you imagine if they get this win and get to the Sweet 16? How awesome would that be? Oh my God, I might break down and cry if that happened.
I mean, right now it looks like Furman might go on a Cinderella kind of run. They just took out Virginia. Virginia's got bad luck playing on March 16th.
Yeah. UMC, now this little ass school.
Took them. Yeah, UMBC took them out 5 years ago, and then they got taken out again today.
And that's another fun thing about college basketball. Like anyone can lose, man. Like it's crazy. There's crazy shit that happens.
Right. It's any given game at this point.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it, man. I'm having a blast watching these guys.
I love the tournament time, man. It's fun. Basketball's on 24. It's fun.
I was thinking about
kids are playing hard, trying to advance.
I was thinking about what Dino said on our last Maryland Terps episode, and he's right. I was watching Reese play, and he said that Reese might be a 4-year guy at Maryland. Once he learns how to shoot the 3-ball, he's going pro.
Yeah,
because there's really no fluid.
And he's only going to get better, dude. His stride from last year to this year is unbelievable, bro. You didn't see him last year. He was rough last year, man. Really rough. He wasn't Like today, I'm so proud of him. He did it about 6 or 7 times in this game. He had 3 guys on him at one of his baskets, Matt. He had 3 guys on his back. He pushed all 3 guys back and hit the shot. Like when he's playing like that, man, and if he can continue to do that and use his strength and realize how big his ass is, he can be a fucking force.
No, I agree. I totally agree with you. And I think that he is going to be one of the players that's going to be, if he has a good showing on Saturday, people might start talking about him being a potential day 2 pick, which I don't think he's going to go to the NBA and be a second round pick.
Nah, he's not ready. He's not
Right.
ready.
I'm hoping that he takes a whole another year fully in Turge's system. I mean, not Turge, in Willard's system, and plays with the guys he's got coming in as the seasoned junior vet.
And
of
if
the
he
team.
doesn't foul, man, like today, I put my notes down, but I think he played like 38 minutes. Like Willard will leave him.
I thought it was like 34 or 35.
No, let me see. Willard will leave his ass in. I mean, he'll play most of the game if he don't foul. Like Willard likes him. He gets a lot of time. Him and Dante Scott get a lot of time.
Yeah, Scott plays a lot. Scott plays hard on both ends of the floor.
He's just not consistent. He's not. He'll have a 3-4 game tear where he makes it clear he's the best player. He's probably one of the best players in the country. Strong down low, gets to the basket real strong. Guys on him, jumping over him. But then he may go 3 or 4 games where he's fucking terrible and makes 1 basket. Like it'll get that bad with him, and then you just gotta hope he warms back, and then he always comes back. When you're about to be down on him and say bench the motherfucker, he comes out and starts hitting shots and threes and fucking getting down low.
Yeah.
Okay. Just for the fans out there, Julian Reese played 37 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that. I mean, shit,
I said 37, 38 minutes.
Yeah, you did say 38.
Right. You said 34, 35.
I thought he was around 34. I thought that's what I heard on the radio. I actually like listening to the game on 105.7. That's a pretty cool experience. I was out.
Yeah, that's a guy. That's like a Hall of Fame announcer. He's the voice of the Terps. Al Holliday. Oh, you're just going to not talk on live TV? Shit.
I thought you froze.
I didn't freeze. I was waiting for you to talk.
I was waiting for you. This is your wheelhouse, buddy.
Well, man, shit. They won. Now we got Alabama. Man, like I said, everything's going to have to go right against Alabama. We'll have to play the best game we've played all year by far. No mistakes. They can't, Maryland went 8 minutes today without scoring. They cannot do shit like that. Anybody that follows the Terps team closely knows they can have times like that all year where they just cannot get a bucket in to save their fucking life. They went through that today. They were able to get through that and weather the storm, but they cannot do that against Alabama. Julian Reese cannot get in foul trouble. He cannot have stupid fouls. Sometimes I feel bad for him, man, because he has that reputation as a player right now where he's a known fouler. So sometimes he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes it's bullshit. That's the thing I hate worst about basketball is how cheesy fouls are. To me, a foul is if you punch somebody or knock them down. Like you should be able to have some contact.
No, that's true.
So he don't always get a fair shake. But like I said, they can't do that, man. They can't have an 8-minute stretch and not scoring because if we do shit like that, Alabama's just going to get 15 points up and just destroy us. We cannot do that. Then on Alabama side, we got also rebound too, by the way. Then on the Alabama side, man, they got to have a little bit of an off night because I feel like if Alabama plays their top potential and Maryland plays their top potential, we're going to lose. I'm just hope it's competitive. I hope we can stay in the game and then maybe at the end find some crazy way to win. Would it shock me if we lost? No. Would it shock me if we won? No, it wouldn't shock me because I think we have a chance, but it would be amazing to see this team in a Sweet 16. I think Mark Turgeon got us in the Sweet 16 like 5 years ago. So it's been a minute. It used to be a Maryland fan. We were in the Sweet 16. Shit, that was every year. The question was, could we get to the Final Four? But Turgeon kind of killed that culture. So Maryland belongs in the Sweet 16. So it would just be awesome to see them back there.
Absolutely. Guys, for you, buddy. Somebody is going to pop in for some Terps talk. Tim? You there, buddy?
You got me? I'm here. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Tim. Yeah, I got you.
Sweet.
Tim Barberlace, folks, doing a little bit of a call in for some Terps talk. Josh wanted to add a little something, a little something special to the show.
Very nice.
Josh didn't know. Josh didn't know that I was going to be bringing you on. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on?
Good to talk to you, man. I know that I caught you coming from your parents' house. We're talking some Terps, man. We've been talking for the last about 20 minutes or so. What'd you think of the game today?
It was awesome. I mean, such an entertaining game, and Ken and I, we were watching it from in the studio, and when it got off to a 19-6 start, and I want to say the first 7-8 minutes, Terps had 6 turnovers. They only got up 4 shots, guys. I mean, they were just struggling to bring the ball up court, and for them to battle back and have a lead at halftime was remarkable. And Julian Reese down the stretch, he was massive on both ends of the court. And doing it all with Jameer Young in foul trouble and another game in which he struggled, it's just a hell of a win.
It was, man. Josh has been, on the Julian Reese train all year, and I
love him.
It's been a great, great opportunity to watch him. He mentioned Jameer as being one of the key guys carrying this team along with Julian Reese. How do you think things are going to be shaping up for us Saturday? Josh thinks we're going to be in the primetime game against Alabama.
I would think so, just because, that region's in Birmingham. They're the top seed in the NCAA tournament. I would think that's going to be the primetime game. But, look, if you're Maryland, you're playing with house money at this point, and I feel like they came out against West Virginia pretty tentative. I think they were frazzled, but you're going against Alabama. No one's going to be picking them to win. Just let it all hang out, and it's going to take an A game from the Terps in order to win, and I'm just curious to see, we talked about Jameer Young. How is he going to bounce back now? After 3 games where he just hasn't looked like himself, how is he going to bounce back?
That's true, Josh. How do you feel about that, man?
I was talking about that earlier, Tim. Because he struggled today. I know he hit those free throws late to seal the game, but he struggled today. And it's been a rough last 2 games for him. But like you said today on the radio, I heard you earlier. He's played well the last month or so we can't get too down on him. So I expect him.
No, man. Look, man. He was their star. I mean, he was their rock. Would he have a game or 2 where he's off? Sure, but I remember, gosh, what was the game before Northwestern? Was that Nebraska? Or he struggled in one of those road games, and then Northwestern. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then that very next game, against Northwestern, when they were ranked 21st, and he came out like a house on fire in the first half. And look, he's been their prime guy, and I was talking to Jimmy Patsos about this a few weeks ago. He's probably their best transfer they've had since Des Wells, I would think. I mean, if you want to argue Rashid Suleiman, but I probably would still go Jameer Young, man. I mean, he's just been huge for them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about Des Wells for a second, man. Wow, that was a big transfer. Where did he
Des was an animal.
He was.
I can't remember where Des was. Suleiman, of course, was with Duke, but I'm blanking on where Des came from.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up now.
He was a beast, man. That team that year, and coincidentally enough, they lost against West Virginia when they knocked Melo out of the game, but that was a fun team.
He played it. Des Wells played at Xavier.
That's where, like Xavier.
Okay.
Yes.
You weren't a Mark Turgeon guy, were you, Tim? Because I never liked him from year 2, to be honest with you.
Turgeon, I mean, I'd say early on I always felt like God, it's got to be so hard following Gary Williams, right? You're kind of in a no-win situation following a Hall of Famer. And I think it's important to note that when he came in, the cupboard was pretty bare because Jordan Williams, when he declared for the NBA draft, that's when Gary's like, all right, I'm tapping out at this point. But look, Turge, especially at the end, one Sweet 16 appearance, and even that year, the Diamond Stone year, they underachieved. I mean, they were ranked second.
Stone. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, they were ranked second that year, and it kind of lined up well because did they play Hawaii in the second round? Whoever they played in the second round was a double-digit seed because they had an upset in the first. But yeah, man, I mean, Turge definitely outlasted his stay, if you will. Willard, I was all over Willard, even before they brought him in for an interview. What he did at Seton Hall, and for even the biggest skeptic, biggest critic, this year one has been a resounding success for him.
No matter what, even if they would have lost today, me and Matt were talking about that earlier.
Absolutely. Well, consider it, guys. Like, they were preseason 10th in the Big Ten, and it was such a fun team. This is the type of year where it's most fun to be a fan, where you go in, at least I did, with, no expectations. You give them this year as like a buffer. They brought in some transfers, of course, with Carey, Jameer Young, but, he hasn't had a recruiting class, obviously, and becoming the first Maryland coach, 20 wins, first Maryland coach to make the tournament their first year. He got 5 wins over top 25 opponents, undefeated home schedule and conference. I mean, resounding success.
And what's crazy is you mentioned all that, and I wanted Rick Pitino.
You weren't alone, man. You weren't alone. That would have been a name, that's for sure. But I mean, you gotta be happy with Willard at this point now, right, man?
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm ecstatic, and
I love how he adjusts, man, because it seemed like Turgeon never adjusted. He adjusted.
No, you're completely right, and that was always the biggest knock on Turge, right? The in-game adjustments were always lacking. But no, Willard, we've seen that throughout the year, man. And I mean, when Jimmy Bell got in foul trouble, I feel like that was a big difference in the game. He fouled out with 10 minutes to go in the game, and he was making a couple boneheaded decisions. But to get them in foul trouble and to match their physicality, I mean, it was great to see.
It was awesome. Ken, do you think Julian Reese is a NBA guy?
That's a good question. I'm hoping he comes back, guys, because I think he has the makings of being a star, next year. Because at the beginning of the year, I'm still a little skeptical. It seemed like the Big Ten was too big for him. But then, and we've heard Willard mention it about the shoulder injury, him being healthy now and him, being a lot more physical down low. I mean, guys, I always keep pointing out to the 2 Purdue games when he goes up against Edey and has 2 of his best games of the season. I mean, obviously, he needs to work on free throws. The size is definitely lacking for him, and we know how NBA loves stretch 4 guys that can shoot threes, and that's not his game. I don't know, man. I would like to see him come back next year, and then, I feel like I could give you a better answer, but I'd say right now, I don't know. I just don't know if he can transfer at the next level. But a hell of a college player.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, worst case, he could be one of those guys that plays overseas for 10 years.
Absolutely, without question.
Like a ton of money.
And there's nothing wrong with that, and people want to say what they will about that. There is nothing wrong with going overseas.
At all. So we're gonna wrap up the show, Tim. We got another thing we got to get over to in a couple of minutes. But before we let you go, thank you for joining the show.
Thank
Appreciate you coming on your drive back home. We wish you a safe trip. But what is your prediction, official prediction for Saturday against Alabama? Do you think we see the Sweet 16, or do you think the road ends here?
Oh, man, it's going to be tough, guys. I mean, Alabama's a damn good basketball team.
Yeah.
They're going to need their A game. I mean, they're going to need their best game of the season, and they really need Jameer to bounce back. My guess would be it's probably the end of the road, but if they can play them competitive, I'm really curious what the spread's going to be. If they can play them competitive, make it single digits, I mean, look, this is gravy at this point. This is icing on the cake, and no matter what happens, like you guys said, this is a fantastic first year and something that Willard can and will build on. But I'd probably say the end of the road.
Fair enough. Josh, you think it's the end of the road?
It probably, like I said earlier, Maryland's going to have to play the best game they've played all year. No 8-minute lapses without scoring. It's going to have to, they're going to have to play a perfect game, and then Alabama's going to have a little bit of an off game.
Yep.
And some luck. So it's probably the end of the road. But either way, I'm excited again about Maryland basketball. So I couldn't ask for a better season.
There you have it. Tim, before I let you go, man, you got a special show tomorrow on the Fan. You guys are going to be live from Maryland Live?
Yeah, Maryland Live Casino. Come on out 2 to 6, and I'm actually doing my Ravens game there as well. So I'll be there 2 to 7. Jason and Ken, of course, will be there 2 to 6. Look, man, start your weekend off right. Obviously, they got a sports book there. They'll have all the games on, and it'll be fun. I always love doing remotes.
That's good, man. We'll definitely be tuning in. A couple of our listeners are sending us messages saying that they're going to be there. A couple of them are hoping to meet you, man. So
awesome, man. Yeah, swing by. Love to meet the people.
I'll definitely send them your way. I'm on daddy duty tomorrow, so I'll be listening from the Odyssey app. And thanks again, guys. Josh, go ahead and sign us off, man.
All right, Ravens fans, the Lamar shit ain't over, but hopefully it'll be over soon. And
Amen.
Amen.